I'm about to turn 25.
I know.
Like I'm hardcore into. I told myself like after Halloween, it'll feel like it, like it'll set in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's November 1st right now, day after, and I feel like again, because my feed has been reflecting it, I feel like I've already like skipped over, like before Halloween, I was like, okay, we get through Halloween, then it's my birthday, focus on that, we're turning 25, and then Thanksgiving, Christmas. But yeah, literally today I'm already like Christmas, and I'm like, wait, girl, hold up, there's like at least one thing before that, and it hasn't set in.
I know. Okay, because I give us leeway too with like, I mean everyone, right?
Yeah.
With
the last
us
2 years
being
don't
like,
count.
yeah, exactly. So it feels like we should be turning 23 or something.
No, I totally, yeah. Yep.
Because it's so not fair for us to have missed those like young 20s,
early
years.
20s,
yeah.
Out of college, early 20s, you enjoy, meh, whatever,
yeah.
sure. But yeah, we didn't get to do that.
Nope. And now we're like in our mid 20s and people have more expectations of us. And I'm like,
yes!
no, I didn't get to waste the 2 years
I'm
of my
baby!
life. Yeah, I am baby. Literally. Like, so not fair. We should have an extra 2 years of just shenanigans before anyone expects anything of us.
I saw one of those, I saw a TikTok where it was like,
we should have a TikTok counter every single time we say TikTok.
I'd probably contribute to like over half of that, but we don't need to talk about it. It's
right here.
It's the way that I disassociate from the world. Please ignore me.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was one of those like overheard TikTok accounts where they like post like conversations between strangers that they hear out of context.
Yeah.
And so this one was someone was asking a person's age, and the person was like, I'm turning 25, but not counting COVID, 23. Something like that. And I was like, yes.
Yeah. And like there was, I think it was part of a comedy skit.
Probably.
Maybe, probably. Where they're like, yeah, if you see me in the club at 27, like just going at it, dancing, acting a fool, it's because I lost 3 years. So I'm technically still like 24.
Yeah.
And I'm going to act like it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I didn't get as much of that, like, yeah, like we said, early 20s, like dumbassery, going clubbing and everything. And I want to do that, but at the same time, my body's like, you're 25.
Yeah.
You cannot be doing that anymore. And I'm freaking out because it's like, oh, your body metabolism slows after 25. And I'm like, I already feel like it slowed down a bunch because of COVID. Because you remember in college, I was a heavyweight. And then now I'm like, where did my tolerance go? So I'm like wondering if that's a side effect of COVID, because I have heard that amongst people, or if that's my metabolism going, and it's
probably a combination of both.
Is a scarier thing. Regardless, yeah, it's scary.
But welcome back to the Midnight Memo. My name is Claire.
And I'm Kristen.
And we hope you're having a great evening or morning or afternoon whenever you're listening to this. And today, this video is going to come out on someone's birthday, and it's not mine.
So can you guess whose birthday it's gonna be?
Da, 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 da. It's gonna be Kristen's birthday. Woo, woo, woo.
I'm turning 25.
I know.
If you didn't hear that screech, I'm turning 25. Because that went a lot higher than I thought it was gonna be.
She's a vocalist. She's hitting them whistle notes like Mariah Carey.
She's defrosting off in the corner.
Yes.
Give me my time, please, and thank you.
But yeah, if you guys are listening to this episode on the day it comes out, go wish happy birthday to Kristen on Instagram, on our Facebook, on our TikTok, or email us. I don't know. Yeah, we love receiving those messages.
We love the socials.
Yeah.
We love the socials.
So, and it's a big one because it's the big 25 quarter century time for a quarter life crisis.
Ensue quarter life crisis. I need to plan what I'm going to do for my quarter life crisis.
I know.
Like, what am I gonna do? What did you do for your quarter life crisis? Have you done anything yet?
No, but I think this podcast was my quarter life crisis.
That's true. We did go over this. Yes, that was your quarter life crisis. Yeah, you had yours like 6 months early.
Mm-hmm. Because my theory is that it's not my quarter life crisis.
Stop! Oh, I hate when Claire brings this up.
I'm just
being
realistic.
No, stop it. Claire thinks she's gonna die early, and I hate when she talks about it.
It's because I had a dream. If anyone here knows how to interpret dreams, I have a question for you.
She dreamed of this once.
But the fact that I remember it so clearly.
But you remember, you have like really weird and vivid dreams, and you remember
Listen,
that.
I do.
I
do have
don't.
a lot of weird dreams. It's like a novel.
Oh, wait, what did I have a dream? I did have a dream the other day, and I actually remembered it. It was pretty wild. It was really lame.
Did you drop your phone?
I did think about telling that story, but no. Kristen has really shitty dreams, if she ever has them. No, I had this dream that in our group, we have an iPhone group chat with me and a bunch of my friends, and we have finally, after 3 years of friendship, about 2 years in, we finally got everyone to get an iPhone, and so we were like, we can finally make an iPhone group chat. So we have that, and I had this dream that one of our friends, the most chaotic one, Kevin, just texted the group chat. That's like, he was like, goodbye friends, and we're like, what are you talking about? And then the group chat turns into the green bubble, and we're all like, no, and that was all it. That was the dream.
Wow, that was a really cool dream.
Thanks.
It was a step up from your other phone dream. So.
Yeah, the bar was really low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna label this episode 25 lessons in 25 years or something of the sorts, and you probably saw that by the title or whatever.
At this
on
point
screen.
in time.
Yeah. So you know what it's about, but
Right.
we may have lied because I don't know if we have 25 lessons. So the
You
first
can-
lesson here is
You can count.
lying is okay sometimes.
I can't with that. Some child is gonna listen to this and be like, Mom, Claire said I can lie.
It's called a white lie, and it didn't hurt anyone in the process. So, therefore, if anything, it helped us.
That's true. But you don't know that until you're this far into the episode.
Exactly.
Sorry.
But we still have lessons that we've learned, and so
Are learning.
and are continuously learning.
Yeah.
But yeah, we thought it would be kind of fun just to share them and maybe kind of dive deep into some, or I don't know. It's gonna be a mix.
We're gonna shake it up.
Yeah. So we have a little lists on our phones, so we'll be referencing those.
Wait, you showed your phone screen. Can I just show everyone this very funny picture of my dog?
Yes.
Look at her dirty face. Oh no, oh no. This is only for the people who watch this. Please focus on my dirty dog's face.
Wow.
She's
So cute.
You couldn't see, but she's cross-eyed in this as well. It didn't focus, but she is very cross-eyed in this photo.
I know, the focus is a little off.
It was one day when I was coming back. I was coming back from recording, and I came home, and she just like was wiggling her butt and shaking so fervorously that she flipped over and just kind of. And I took a picture of it.
Very cute.
She looked adorable. She looks a little dumb, but she is my dummy. Anyway.
So the first lesson I have for those who have not gotten to 25 yet, are still in their early 20s or are still teens, whatever. Listen, when you get older and you live on your own, just know that laundry and dishes will never stop. So
I so took it for granted, dude.
yeah, so you got to get used to doing them or get someone else to do them.
Yep.
Because unfortunately, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
And it doesn't matter if you do all the laundry in your entire house, right? Like if you strip down everything, you wash everything in the entire house, apartment, whatever. You are still wearing clothes. So those clothes are quote, quote, dirty, depending how you know? So you will always have to do laundry. And when I think about that, it makes me really espresso depresso.
Yeah.
Like it makes me so sad because I just want to have it all clean, done.
Yeah.
And I can't because I'm wearing clothes.
Yeah, it never stops. Like right when you reach the bottom of the laundry basket and you're like, yes, like I finally did it. Nope.
So satisfying.
You
And
take
then
a shower, go to bed. Then
there's
you have,
something in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And same with dishes. Like unless you fully live off of paper plates and plastic utensils, which I don't recommend.
Not green of you.
Yeah, not very green of you. You're not very
not very Mama
Global
Earth friendly.
warming
Thank
is
you.
a thing. Yeah, and not unless you're doing that.
Not very live, laugh, love Mother Nature for you.
Yeah, it's not gonna stop.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Strike up a deal with someone if they do the dishes, you do laundry, vice
Is that
versa.
what you do with your partner? Do you have
Yeah.
Same.
I'm like, I will do all the laundry. I don't mind laundry at all. Same thing when I was growing up. Like my
that
mom
was you did with
hated
your
laundry.
mom.
My mom hated laundry, and I was like, don't worry, I got you. But then she would do the dishes.
Yeah.
And because she likes her kitchen in a very specific way, so I think
out.
even if I did the dishes, she would clean it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
probably.
like, it's not actually being helpful if she has to go back and do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
establish
stay in
that.
my lane. Yeah. So that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horrible fact.
Yeah.
But you have to get used to it. So
yeah. And know how to do your laundry.
yeah, guys, learn how to do the laundry. If anything, I feel like a lot of girls
separate your darks from your lights.
Yes.
We don't even need to go to like colors to whites, just darks and lights.
Yeah. Guys.
Bare minimum.
And boys, if you're trying to impress a girl, knowing how to do your laundry, these small things are actually very impressive to us.
Because again,
which is sad, but true.
Yeah, the bar is on the floor. It's very sad, but we recognize it. So if you even know
we stomped on it and it just dropped into the basement, and so it's really easy.
It shouldn't be there. But if you are above that, if you have just these little things, you're gonna look so good to a girl.
It's gonna be great.
So good. Yeah. Oh, clean the fucking lint trap too. Now that we're on laundry, clean the fucking lint trap. Guys, between every fires. Dryer. Yes, don't start fires. Clean it, throw it away. Check it before you start it. And then if you're really good for brownie points, clean it afterwards to save future you.
I feel like that was like a 3-in-1.
I feel like that should have been a 3-in-1.
We're gonna count that as 1 through 3.
1 through 3. There was so many hacks there.
Yeah.
Also, kind of so for 4, but subcategory of 1 sort of a deal.
So 1D.
Exactly. I put clean your fucking apartment. And okay, we've said this a million times. I have anal retentive tendencies where I like things very clean. I like it very specific. And I recognize I've lived with people and I know people enough to know that that's not everyone's shtick. And I can respect that. If you don't need your space to look almost unlivable,
to look like a museum,
I can understand and respect that. But I'm gonna steal this from my friend who pointed this out to me because he also has cleanliness, anal retentiveness, but he's in denial about it even more so than me. And he pointed out to me there's a difference between being clean and being unhygienic.
Very true.
And I was like, you're right. So if you're not gonna be clean, like museum level clean, at least don't be unhygienic. Don't leave food on your dishes in the sink for eons. Don't like clean out your refrigerator for food that you're not eating. Little things. Clean the hair out of your shower drain. Like little stuff like that where it's borderline unhygienic. Just do the little things because you have to live there.
Yeah, for sure. Like as we've also learned on this podcast, I'm not the most organized person.
But you're at least hygienic.
I'm
you're not
hygienic.
Unhygienic.
Yeah. Like if you guys saw what else was in my apartment right now. Like,
should we pivot? No, just kidding.
Like I just have like random stuff. Like I have so many pillows sitting around. I have like just my recycling like along this wall.
Yeah, that's not crazy though.
I have random stuff on my counters all the time. But like, and I feel like my bathroom, my bedroom, listen, there's clothes everywhere, but they're all clean clothes.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that was initially what led him to make the statement is like, he was saying that he wasn't my level of clean. And I was like, I don't know about that. And he was like, cause I'll have laundry on my floor, but it'll at least be clean or something like that. And he's like, that's why I'm clean, but I'm not unhygienic or something. He was arguing something like that. And I was like, that's fair. So don't be unhygienic. Clean your fucking apartment. You have to live in that space, and the space I truly believe reflects your mindset. So if you have a clean space, you have a clean mindset.
That's true.
I believe.
Yeah,
I really believe that. And I think that's why I clean when I'm stressed. Was it my friend Lizzie was over last night or Sunday? And we were talking, or me and my partner were like, we've been go for a couple weekends. Like, let's take this day to just do nothing, de-stress. And I was like, perfect. That sounds great. Have an easy Sunday.
Yeah.
And after about 2 hours of just like watching nothing, I was like, well, we do need, like, the apartment, because we've been go, has not been cleaned, just unclean, not unhygienic, but just like, you know,
yeah,
things are disheveled and everywhere. So I started cleaning up stuff, and he's like, what are you doing? We're having a lazy Sunday. And I'm like, I am having a lazy Sunday. This is
my version of being lazy.
I know. I was like, I'm gonna feel fantastic after this. Do you realize that? Again, this is just me going into like how I am. But after, I was like, I'm gonna clean now so I can have, if my space is clean, I'm gonna feel so good going into this work week. I won't have like that back of mind clutter of like, okay, we need to clean the external closet, we need to clean Mocha's crate, we need to do that, like these little things around the apartment that are just daily tendencies. My brain won't be thinking about that, and I'll feel clean and I'll feel so good.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be so fucking productive. Not a guarantee, but I'm gonna feel like I'm productive. Just be clean.
Hello. If you're hearing this, that means we have found a break in our trains of thought. I know, kind of crazy, like our podcast isn't chaotic or something like that. Anyway, this week we have a sponsor for this episode, and our sponsor is Newsly. And you're probably wondering, what is Newsly? Well, Newsly is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up the most trending articles on the web on topics you choose at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice. For the first time, the entire web becomes listenable, all in one place. So you can stop scrolling and start listening. You can follow any topic as specific as you'd want, from sports to business to Bitcoin or even the Kardashians. And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 80 countries. Our podcast, The Midnight Memo, will be there too. So make sure to check them out. Download and use Newsly for free now from www.newsly.me or from the link we have down in our description. You can also use the promo code TMM and receive 1 month of free premium subscription. That is TMM for 1 month of free premium subscription. That is right. So make sure to go check us out on the Newsly app. You will not regret it. And now back to the podcast. So my second lesson, and there is a quote. This is not it. So I'm paraphrasing, but comparison is the stealer of happiness. And I think that a lot of people can relate to this. We all get caught up in comparing ourselves to our peers, what society thinks we should be doing, different standards that we set for ourselves, maybe standards or expectations that others set for us or we think that they're setting for us. So, especially like if you're very goal oriented, when we were applying for jobs at the end of college, senior year, it was so hard not to get caught up in where everyone else was applying, you know, and a lot of people were applying to big name brand companies. And I think there came with like an internal awareness and kind of shame if you weren't applying to those jobs. And that's just like one example, but even in day-to-day life, and we've touched on this, I think, in a lot of our other episodes, where say you think you're supposed to be in a certain spot in life and you're not, but you see other people. Sometimes we can get caught in that spiral of, oh, but should I be doing this? How, like, what is the measurement that I'm using to compare myself to other people? And it's always by accolades, by the amount of money you're making. Milestones.
Like
all those different things. But the measurement in which we should be comparing ourselves to others is, if one, we shouldn't be comparing ourselves, but if you are, it should be happiness. Like, are you happy? When you kind of get into that cycle of comparing yourself to others, comparing yourself to what society or where society says you should be or what you should be doing, it's your opinion about yourself that matters. Everyone has a different path in life. Everyone will have the same, maybe similar milestones at different times. It might take you 2 years to get to a specific place you want to be. It might take someone else 5 years.
Yeah.
It might take them 3 weeks, but no one's supposed to follow the exact same path.
Yeah.
So try to, when you're in that, you kind of get those horse blinders on where, oh, I need to be doing this. Why am I not here yet? Why haven't I not accomplished this goal? Am I like doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, slow down if you can. I know your mind starts to race a little bit, but slow down, evaluate where you are at. Don't compare yourself to others. Think about what your core values are, whether it's bringing you happiness. And I think that is what we should be doing rather than comparing ourselves to others. So that's like one of the big lessons I've kept trying to learn. Like, I'm still learning that.
Yeah.
I think it's
a day-to-day learning on it. That's one of a day-to-day learning.
Yeah.
I think is like, it's so easy to know that, like hear this and be like, yeah, I think there's a few life lessons that I've like pinned down where it's like, I know it, and like rough air quotes know it. Like when I read it or someone tells me it, I'm like, yeah, that absolutely makes sense logically. For whatever reason, that absolutely makes sense to me. But like knowing it versus like knowing it, I can't think of a better word to like differentiate that.
It's easier said than done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like actually applying it when you're in the situation where it's applicable is so much harder to like pull yourself out and be like, hey, we know this, whatever life teaching, whatever it is, and pull yourself out of the situation to remind yourself of that before you go back in is real tough.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. It's one of the harder lessons, and it's one that you continually have to learn.
Yeah.
It's not like a one and done situation. So it's ever evolving,
Which episode is this like referencing to? Like you basically TLDR'd one of our episodes, but I'm trying to remember. Imposter syndrome one, I think.
Probably imposter syndrome. Yeah.
Like you said, of it being the stealer of happiness, I think it's, if you're trying to clock everyone's journey, like you said, it's all going to be happening at different paces. And if you're too busy focusing on what other people are doing, you're not going to be focusing on what you're doing yourself and what makes you happy on a higher level.
Yeah. Like, why do stuff that makes you unhappy?
Yeah.
Right? Why push yourself and spread
Another
yourself
life lesson. Why would you do something that does make you happy? Life
expectations.
And especially if you're like Claire and you have a dark sense of life where you don't think 25 is your quarter life crisis. Like, life's too short to to be unhappy. You're gonna have unhappy times for sure, but like, do what you can to find little bits of happiness in either what you do in your day-to-day or your larger journey pathway things. Like don't actively try to do things that make you unhappy. It's not worth it. And the effort, if you're gonna take effort to do something, don't use it for something that makes you unhappy.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And you'll learn as you get older that you have less energy and less tolerance. So,
speaking of energy and tolerance, that was another one that I had.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
Good transition.
Oof.
Kristen, take it away.
Oh, but now I don't have it up. Wait. Oh, faking it, like, when it comes to like getting, say the group, whatever that you're currently associating with, or like you just happen to be in this particular social situation, whatever, all agree, like knows about this thing or says something and you want to fit in. So you're going to fake it and be like, oh, everyone's talking about this movie this rom-com movie, and you absolutely hate rom-coms for whatever reason. But you want to, like back in high school, even middle school, where it was a thing of like, being like, oh yeah, totally. Like just agreeing to go along with it. And then sometimes you even go as deep as like actually learning about the thing that you don't even want to think about. Like you deep fake it.
Yeah.
Not worth the time and energy. I think
it's not.
Once you get out of the high school thing, it's a lot easier to see. Maybe even college. But like, especially now, I'm like, it's so much effort at that point to do that, to fake an interest, to fake, something that you care about.
Yeah, it is. And I remember
it's not worth the time and energy.
It's not. Like, again, we get tired. Girl, you're going to get tired.
TLDR, like, this whole thing is Claire being like, you're just going to be exhausted as fuck.
TLDR, Claire's really lazy as a person. But it's true. Like, as you get older, you find that you are willing to put less energy into certain aspects of your life.
Yeah.
Certain friendships, certain relationships. And like, if you're having to fake a personality or fake an interest to connect with someone, it's not worth it. Like, I remember there was this girl in high school.
Okay.
Where I've known her since probably preschool. Like, I've known her for a long time. Very close family friends, and I love her. And I had a period in high school where I just would not talk to her because she would change her personality.
She was one of those people
she was in. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't keep up. Like, I love you. Yeah. I do. But the fact that you're changing personalities to fit in with people who don't even want to, like, you wouldn't be friends with them if you weren't.
Yeah, like, the only reason you're friends with them is for this whatever fake person, like this fake this facet of you is. So why is it work? Like, and then friendships are work, which is also another life lesson that I want to throw in there. But why would you put, it's work to create, it's work to maintain. It's no.
Yeah. And I think and I think eventually you'll find, because I do, like, when you're younger, it's much more like you're much more willing to say, oh, I'm gonna alter myself a little bit just to see if I can, like, hang out with these group of people. And I think as we grow up, we'll find that, like, not worth it. Like, these are not the people that I would want to hang out with anyway if I weren't doing this. So why continue to fuel that relationship? Like, you don't have to burn the bridge or anything, but, like,
don't throw active energy at it. I think that's a good lesson too. Is like, you don't need, just because you don't gel with someone or, like, they're not your person, whatever, if you have to associate with them still, especially, like, you don't need to burn a whole fucking bridge just because you don't get along with someone. Like, just respect, like, still hold yourself with grace, and, like, you can not be friends with someone without being disrespectful.
Exactly.
Like, you can, like, we're not best friends, we can be acquaintances, whatever. Not everything's an extreme. You don't have to be either best friends or enemies. Like, you can just respectfully
revel in the ambiguity. Like,
okay, I like that.
Hang out in the gray area.
I like that. Gray
is a great color, guys.
Says the girl who dresses, like, exclusively in black.
This is navy blue.
Look, I asked to borrow a black skirt the other day. This bitch came out first of all with a black one piece. And I was like, cool. But can I borrow your skirt? And she's like, oh, okay. Then we go into her room, into her closet. First of all, a rack like this big. Please look at the viewfinder.
Yes.
This much of it was black.
It's about 20 inches. I would say that's a pretty average size for a rack.
If you're using a male measuring stick, maybe. She literally, like, 98% of the clothes on that rack were all black clothes. So she's trying to look for this black skirt in this wall of black clothes, and she's like, takes out a hanger. Nope, puts it back. Next one. Nope, puts it back. Takes out the next one. Wait, maybe? Nope, puts it back. Like, I watched her do that, like, at least 6 or 7
I have a lot of black pants, guys.
There was a shirt at one point, and she's like, this could be the skirt. And I was like, what are we doing here?
Listen.
I mean, we found it. All worked out, but it was just so funny. I was like, if this does not perfectly embody how much black is your color, I don't know what would.
Yeah, black is really my color.
Yeah.
But this is navy blue. It looks black. But it's navy blue, guys. It has a little...
Are you sure it's not just a really faded black? To be honest.
Look at this.
I can tell that they're different when you put them next to each other. But are you sure it's just not... I'm not convinced it's not just a faded black, and then your pants are just a newer black.
Maybe. I do look like a little blob in the viewfinder. I'm just like a floating head above all the black. Anyway,
a little bit. Oh, you know what I forgot to say in the household responsibilities? Learn how to fucking cook.
Oh,
because especially, I mean, I started to learn in college.
Yeah,
Claire would cook for me. Well, Claire would supervise my cooking and tell me I'm doing everything terribly wrong.
No. You had these little note cards.
I had little recipe, like, index cards from my mama, because she has all the recipes, and I did not know how to cook. I still don't really know how to cook. This is one of those life lessons I'm still learning. I'm not a very good cook. I'm a good eater. I'm not a good cook. So, and if this is also I also hate cooking. I truthfully, I dislike it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things that never end. You're always going to need to eat. And unless you a billionaire, because Uber Eats and takeout is expensive, you're going to need to learn how to cook.
Yeah.
Or be like me and find someone who does like to cook. My partner loves cooking. I don't.
Yeah.
Especially when I don't like cooking during the weekdays because I have to. And I don't have, if I'm going to cook, I want to plan, I want to make a thing of it, and then I want to be able to enjoy it afterwards. And I feel like when I cook during the week, especially in between work, because it's in between work and I get home and the last thing I want dinner, but I don't want to have to cook for it. Meh. I know meal planning is a thing, but I also get most of my meals from work. So try to meal plan around when I'm not getting fed meals is a whole thing. First world problems, I understand. But it doesn't help with I don't know how to cook and I'm not very good at it.
Yeah.
But my partner likes, my workaround of it is my partner likes to cook and I like to clean. Mm-hmm. So he cooks and I just follow him. And from my friends who tell me that they like to cook, they're like, oh my God, can I cook with you? That's my ideal. Because
honestly, yeah. Because there's so many dishes that pile up once you're doing whatever.
Yeah. And I get that, which is also why I don't like cooking. Because I can't start the next step while my previous step is out and dirty. But then that's what takes me, again, eons to cook. Because I'm cleaning as I'm cooking. But then I will get fixated on the cleaning part. So we have a nice system where he cooks and I follow behind him and I clean up behind him.
Yeah. I mean, okay, side lesson from that, I guess, is now with today's technology, 2 things you should definitely have as part of your kitchen setup is an air fryer and a pressure cooker. Because you can literally make meals on meals with those 2 items, and it's so easy because you can just turn it off and then do other things while it's cooking.
Yeah.
And then come back. I sometimes will start air frying chicken.
Yeah.
Then I'll, go clean my room or take a shower or get ready. And then by the time I'm done, the food's ready. So it's super easy. You don't have to stand in the kitchen for an hour, whatever, making the actual meal.
Yeah.
Super easy.
My only hang up with that is the meal. This problem would easily be solved if I meal prepped, if I planned my meals ahead, but I don't until I'm literally there and I'm hungry and I'm like, okay, what's in the fridge? And usually it's nothing because I have not planned for myself.
Yeah.
So along with that, if you can figure out how to meal plan for yourself, it makes your life a million times easier. I don't. Working lesson. And yeah, I want more air fryer, slow cooker, those types of meals. I have the appliances. I just need to find the meals that I like that go with that so I can plug and play, when I need it and when I don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say learning how to cook, or at least learning how to cook a few meals that you really like. So at least you know how to make those when you're in a rush or a tight spot. Again, having an air fryer and a pressure cooker, so easy because you can make so many different kinds of meals without actually having to saute vegetables and take all those extra steps. You can do 1-pot meals. You can do all that kind of stuff.
Find a way to cook that works for you.
Yeah.
So that way you can feed yourself well. Mm-hmm. Whatever that means for you. Mm-hmm. For me, it's chaos.
For me,
we're working
it's
on
an air fryer.
For Claire, it's an air fryer. For Kristen, it's date someone who likes cooking and dope meal plan. We're working on the later. So don't quite follow my advice. Maybe follow the first one if you want to, but don't follow the second one. The second one's a little bit more chaotic.
Right. My next lesson would be okay with being the villain in someone's story.
Which is also a call out to another episode we have where Am I the Villain? I don't remember what number that is, but
it was pretty early on. Throughout life, as a TLDR overview, throughout life, you're not going to always be everyone's favorite person. Not everyone is going to like you. And I know for a lot of people who are people pleasers and things like that, it can be a very hard fact to accept that in someone's story, you're going to be the villain, and you have to be okay with that. You have to learn how to be okay with it, because you can't please everyone. And if you try, you're going to run yourself into the ground. Mm-hmm. And again, like, it's okay to value opinions, like others' opinions of you, but don't prioritize that over like your own self opinion, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like your own opinion of yourself. Mm-hmm. My next one is learn to forgive yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think this is super important for when you go through hard times, when, say, you cut off a relationship of some sort, or someone blames you for something, or you go through a difficult time. Learning how to forgive yourself, even if others have not forgiven you, I think is a really great thing to learn. Obviously, depending on the situation, yes, it's also great to grow from the situation, learn the lessons you needed to learn. Mm-hmm. But if you're not forgiving yourself because someone else hasn't forgiven you, that is super detrimental. Because I did see Sandra Bullock talk about this for a moment, and I was like, oh, it super resonated, because she said, like, why are you wasting energy caring about someone who obviously doesn't care about you?
Yeah.
And so it's a similar situation. It's like, why are you wanting this person to forgive you so much when they obviously don't care and they won't forgive you? Like, it's not worth, again, energy. It's not worth pouring your energy into trying to make it up to this person, mm-hmm. trying to get them to forgive you if it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. You can kind of look inside yourself and say, I've seen what I've done wrong, I've grown from the situation, I now know something that I didn't before, mm-hmm. and I have to forgive myself for that, mm-hmm. and then I move on. Or you're just kind of stuck in the, oh, they're not going to forgive me, I messed up.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Especially as a reforming, not reformed, we're still deep in the process, people pleaser, that's like a super tough one for me. Because mm-hmm. I'm always like, oh, I think I punish myself like excessively. And mm-hmm. I know that, like what you said, like again, knowing the thing and applying the thing are totally different. Where like I know at some point, for whatever reason, I'm going to have to forgive myself because this person may or may not. Mm-hmm. But I will beat myself up excessively after it, because it's like I realized for whatever reason, like I fucked up, I made a mistake, whatever. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. Look, now they're mad at me, that sort of a thing. And that's true. Yes, and I still feel that way. And I don't think I want to negate that. But punishing myself, yeah, like excessively, mm-hmm. beyond the point of like once you realize that you've done wrong and you're like, okay, what do we do now? You have to move on from that, because playing over like I did something wrong doesn't make you right at any point. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make it better.
Right.
And I know that, and I'm working on that.
Yeah, definitely. And again, everyone takes a different amount of time to process. Yeah. You know, and it's not saying that, oh, just forgive yourself because you didn't do anything wrong. You know, you can still definitely learn from the situation, yeah, and acknowledge that you're growing and you've learned something. But once you've recognized and had like the self-realization of, I've grown, I now know something new, mm-hmm. I will take this lesson with me in the rest of my life so that this doesn't happen again. Yeah. You have to say, that's all I can do. Yeah. I can't take back what's been like already happened. Mm-hmm. So this is the next best thing. Yeah. That's tough. Again, easier said than done, especially with the varying types of situations that this can happen in. Mm-hmm. But
I think also branching off of that, something that's been resonating with me lately is that friendships are freaking hard. Mm-hmm. Like, especially adult friendships mm-hmm. are so freaking hard, because everyone has their own schedule, their own plans, like their own lives, truly. And it's a lot easier to maintain when you're in school, because 80% of your life, like a third of your day is literally there being at school. Mm-hmm. So you have so much overlapping time and life with these people who you're probably hanging out with the most and like interacting with. And if it's not those people at school, it's whatever else you're directly doing at that moment, like sports, club, whatever. You have that overlapping thing with these people. So it's a lot easier to stay friends and stay close that way. Mm-hmm. But when you're an adult and it's very, everyone kind of spirals off and like goes into their own thing. So they all have very independent lives from each
Yeah.
other. You can have very independent lives, and it's hard when you don't have those things that overlap. You still have things in common with these friends that you've made over the time, but like you don't have overlapping time, especially like prolongated time
Yeah.
where you can keep in contact with these people or like interact with them regularly. It's hard to keep that friendship, keep that maintenance. Like I had this realization on the bus today when we were thinking about what I was going to talk about today. And I realized that like I'm very bad at maintaining friendships, especially over time, because if I'm not directly interacting with a person in my day-to-day, like talking with them regularly, especially when it comes to long distance friendships, like friends who have moved away for whatever reason, I still will care about them so much, and I like want to keep in contact with them, but I have something in my brain that's like, if I'm not talking to them regularly and say they respond to me a little bit off, I'm very empathetic and like reading that. But the people pleaser in me automatically assumes it's because of me, and not everything's about you. I know that, but like
Sub lesson, not everything is about you.
not everything's about you, but like it's hard to think about that, and especially when you're interacting with that person and suddenly you feel something off, you're like, oh no, what did I do? And I automatically assume it's me. Usually it's not about me, and it's hard for me to like withdraw myself on that, especially because I'm used to interacting with these people all the time where I know everything. Like it's so much easier when you know everything in their life, so you can know, oh, they're off because of this thing, and I know that because I saw them yesterday and I know they've been dealing with this thing. But if you don't keep in contact with these people all the time where you know everything about them and everything that they're doing, you don't have all those little bits of subcontext behind what's bothering them in their day-to-day or what have you. So it's harder to cipher out those little iffy bits, and then I take that detrimentally, and then that doesn't work over well, and I'm like, oh, I think they're mad at me. Or sometimes I'll just overanalyze it when it comes to like maintaining the friendship. Is I'm like, oh, do they think I'm reaching out because I want something, but I don't, I just want to check in, but then what will we talk about? Like, so much of life has happened at this point. And sometimes that's good, like you want life to pass by so that way you can catch up with life. But then I also overanalyze, and I'm like, oh, but what if they just think it's small time? So like for me, maintaining friendship, this is a long-winded way of me basically saying I'm struggling to maintain like friendships as an adult, especially for people I don't see very often. If you are one of my friends, I was gonna say many, but like I don't have that high of an opinion of myself. If you're one of my friends and we haven't talked in a while, just know that I love you dearly, and I am so sorry I'm so shit at communicating. It's not you, it's truly me.
It's cue the Taylor Swift song.
No, literally, it's the analysis paralysis. It's the overthinking, and it does not breed well into portraying that in friendships, relationships, those sorts of things.
Definitely.
But I know that I'm working on it, but it's a hard work in progress.
Relationships take work, whether it be romantic or friendship. But
take a lot of work. It's a lot of effort.
Sub lesson. It takes effort from both sides, not just one person.
Facts.
So
I think my favorite relationship, it's usually used for like romantic relationships, but I think it can easily be applied for friendships as well. But I feel like I see it a lot for TikToks, insert count, for like people going up to older married couples and being like, what's your best piece of relationship advice? Me. And one that I've heard a couple times and I really, really like is that a relationship is never 50-50, it's 100-100. Heard also like the subcategory of like, it's not 50-50, it's 80-20 sometimes, it's whatever. But I think in general I like 100-100 better because it shows that you should always be giving all you can if you want the relationship to flourish.
And
romantic and otherwise.
And it's like your 100% is going to look different every day too.
Exactly. But at least if it's 100% of what you can give that day, whatever that means for you, at least you can't say that you didn't try. I think is the way I would look at it.
Definitely.
Like you said, it's going to change day to day. Your 100% on a bad day might be your 30% on a good day. But if you just at least keep saying you're trying, don't say it, but like try to give your 100% with what you can, you did all you could.
Definitely. I agree. All right. My next lesson is healing is different for everyone.
Ooh.
This
segue into that.
This is an important statement, because I think whenever I go through a hard time, or was going through a hard time when I was younger, there would be so many people saying, you should meditate, journal, try journaling.
Oh my God,
go to
yes.
a therapist, go for a walk, go for a run, find a new hobby. There's so many different kinds of coping mechanisms, so many different ways of processing your emotions.
Yep.
Some people like to vent to other people. Some people don't like to do that. Some people like to journal. But you don't have to do exactly what another person is doing to heal. Like if someone heals through journaling, that's amazing. But it doesn't mean you're going to heal through journaling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So everyone has a different way of healing.
But don't not try it.
Don't not try it.
Especially while we're young. You're going to hear that all the time. But I feel like, especially while we're young, like you can at least give it a shot to know that it works.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's not only definitely apply it to healing, but like in general, when it comes to things, I think we still, now I'm going to take a detour, but like we think that, oh, we're at our quarter life, we should have it figured out sometimes. Mm-hmm. And we don't. So like, don't be afraid to try new things, because it's never too late to start something new. Like
very true.
You're a quarter, you're 25 quarter of your life looking at this ambiguously. Some of us are not looking that way, but don't look at me, Claire. You are only X amount into your life, and you can look at that either very depressingly, but looking at it on a positive spin of like, you still have so much more time to try something. If you want to try something.
Yeah, it's never too late to start something new. Never too late to pursue something new that helps you to heal, that brings you joy. Yep. You can always try it. If it doesn't work for you, that's totally fine. Don't feel any pressure to keep doing something that does not work for you.
But don't keep digging the hole. Like, know when to quit, I think.
Yeah.
Is also a hard life lesson to learn. Like, if you're trying journaling and it's not working for you, like finding the right balance of like, don't quit because it doesn't work the first time. Mm-hmm. But if you've given it a fair shot and it's journaling is not the way you're going to heal in this situation, right? Like, journaling is not what you need to heal what you need to heal, then pivot. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. Mm-hmm. Just because your friend or even like multiple friends healed through journaling, just because journaling's not working for you doesn't mean you're going to keep beating the bush and try to do it. Like, pivot.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you can always pivot. You can always
pivot. I had to. We said it like 3 times and it was itching my brain. Sorry.
Yeah.
Intrusive thoughts.
Yeah. If journaling doesn't work, you can try therapy. If a therapist doesn't work, try a different one. If therapy in general isn't your jam right now, go blast music in your room and dance around, have a solo dance party. You know what I mean? What's that?
Oh, fuck. I was really hoping I would have it pulled up by the time you said called on me.
Yes,
Kristen. I was raising my hand, even though there's only 2 of them. Okay, going back to venting and that sort of a thing. Mm-hmm. One thing that I struggle with as being a compassionate, empathetic person and wanting to fix and make everyone's life, being a people pleaser, wanting to fix everyone and everything. So it's always hard for me I always want to take things on for people and like help them and fix it. But you also have to know that your family and friends, or even your significant other, is not free emotional labor. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a difference between like venting and piling on to someone. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, they are there for you to have your emotion, like to be your sounding board, mm-hmm. and, you know, for you to bounce ideas off or vent to.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't be your voice of reason. I feel like that's the difference.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be just like going to them, piling everything that's worrying you to them, because now they're gonna worry. Like, there's such thing. What was the word I looked up? Oh, compassion fatigue. That's a thing of like, you overload them with your problems and what have you, and then now they don't not only have to worry about the things in their life, but what if they're a compassionate person, they're gonna also worry about the things in your life, and that's not fair to them.
Yeah.
So if you're really struggling, go to therapy. That's what they're paid for. Your friends and family are not getting paid to listen to your struggles.
Yeah.
So know when it's acceptable to use them as a sounding, you know, have an outside source, friend, family, significant other, as your sounding board to vent to, and when it's a deeper issue and you should go get professional help, because that's what they're being paid for. Your friends, family, not getting paid. Someone else needs to get paid to take on that emotional labor.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. Your friend, your family, your partner should not be responsible for your emotions.
Yep.
Or feel responsible for emotions. They're always there to help you. Always there for a pick-me-up, but it's not their responsibility
To make you happy.
It's
It's no one else's responsibility to make you happy.
yeah.
The only thing that's guaranteed in this life is your own responsibility. Well, one of the many is your own responsibility to make yourself happy. No one else is going to make you happy.
The other guarantee is death.
The other guarantee is death and taxes.
Which actually, tip, advice, lesson number whatever, learn about money early.
Yeah.
A lot, as in American education systems, it is not required for you to graduate or anything without learning about the American finance system that's in place. And it's a rude awakening when you get out into the real world and have to learn about learn about taxes, learn about interest rates, learn about different bank accounts, credit cards, what have you, 401ks, different things that was never taught to us because you weren't a business major or you weren't a finance major.
You didn't need to.
Yeah, you quote unquote didn't need to. But then advice number, again, whatever plus one, math that we learn in high school is not going to be used. Don't stress about it. Unless you're literally,
unless that's going to be your
teacher,
livelihood. Like,
you're not going to learn, you're not going to need to calculate the hypotenuse of anything, but you do need to know how to fill out your tax reports. Like,
yeah, my partner and we were going to Pumpkin Patch. We ended up at a beer garden. Not important to the story other than we were drinking beer. And we started talking about some head ass shit. I don't remember what. We're talking about random things. And then we're like, you know what's weird? Math. And then we started talking about how the fuck the first person who invented integrals decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to calculate the exact area under this curve. And then how they explain it to you about the rectangles and it was a whole, we went we talked at least for like half an hour about calculus, but we're like, and you know what's sad? Up until this moment, I probably haven't used calculus since college, other than for this very, not drunk, but slightly tipsy conversation.
You say y equals mx plus b, calculate the downward slope of my life.
Yeah.
Done. That's all you need to know.
The only time you're going to use math is to calculate how down this ship is going.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
Anyway, for all the ladies, if you go to a formal event, bring an extra pair of flats.
Bring flats.
Just do it. I know I was the girl who would stick it out in heels. Or use the
numbing spray. I've recently discovered, well, I haven't used it yet, but I've seen a lot of videos about it, and these people say that it worked. I have yet to do that. So, asterisk on advice here. You numb your feet.
Listen.
And then you wear the heels. I don't know what's better.
I don't know. I'm like kind of skeptical just because I've had so many feet problems from like dance and all that stuff that like if you numb it, then it's more likely you get injured.
You're still going to be injured afterwards. Yeah. That's true. That's a very fair point.
But that's just me being like, whatever. But I was definitely the girl who was like, I'm not going to take my shoes off because I think it's kind of gross when people
it's so
take
disgusting
their
but
shoes off at the
I'm
clubs.
Guilty of it. Oh, not at clubs, but like at like my prom.
Yeah,
it's just a thing.
Yeah, I just found it always really disgusting, so I was always the girl who would tough it out and keep her shoes on because I just didn't want to be walking barefoot everywhere.
That's fair.
And so bring an extra pair of flats that you can change out of once the heels start hurting.
Yeah.
You know?
Literally get like the type that they have. Well, don't use a vending machine. We can like find a cheaper alternative. But like, you know the ones that they sell at vending machines at like the mall or something that's literally like this big and it rolls up?
Yeah.
Get one of those.
Easy peasy. Fits in your purse?
No! That was weird. You guys all saw that. You heard it. That was weird. I mean, it wasn't a crazy statement, like we knew where this was going, but that was still like very insane. That was like really creepy.
Yeah. We're sharing the one brain cell today.
Aw, cute.
Yeah, quick tip.
Yeah.
Bring an extra pair of flats. Doesn't hurt. If you don't use them, you don't use them.
That's true. Well, that's me with how I pack my mom bag. Every time I'm going somewhere, I'm like, pack it just in case I need it.
Yeah. Always bring a jacket just in case.
Yes. I'm always cold. I will always need that jacket. Will I choose violence sometimes? Maybe, but
Could be.
I could always use a jacket. Me with my turtleneck and very thick boyfriend's flannel. She's thick.
I love it.
Yes. Anyways.
Another lesson I've learned throughout the years is that confidence is quiet and insecurity is loud. And
I love that.
Snaps. Yeah. A lot of the times when you see those like pick me girls or girls who you know are just a little more insecure, I guess, they can be a lot louder. I just think it speaks volumes more than the silent confidence. A lot of the times they will try to like take you down, have a lot to say about certain things, and you should kind of block that out. But yeah, I think it's short and sweet, but just something to note.
Yeah, definitely. Another one of those easier said than done for sure, but a good thing to keep in the back of your mind when you need it. Pull it out of your arsenal.
Oh, common sense is not common.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah, if you've ever worked in the food industry or even in just the service industry
Shout
in
out
general,
to our customer service episode. Wink, wink, hint,
Yes.
hint. But
you guys know common sense is not common. And you'll learn this along the way, and you'll realize that
I want a solution to that. I really do. Like, I want to know how I can help the world. Like, some people want world peace. I want to be able to give everyone common sense.
yeah,
Cheese and rice, my guy.
yeah.
It pains me. And I'm just like, how have you made it? Sometimes I'm like, how have you made it this far? I might just be on 25, but I know you're farther. And how have you made it that far?
I know.
What's
It's kind of crazy sometimes. Yeah.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild.
And then you realize that the national average, right? So 50% are above that average, but then you realize
50%
50% are below that average.
See, we use math. Advice N +1. Not applicable here.
Yeah, I guess.
Asterisk on the advice.
Yeah, go back, edit it, scratch it out. Boundaries. Learn how to set boundaries. Now, this is interesting because I always encourage learning how to set boundaries for yourself. Don't spread yourself too thin. Don't overcommit yourself.
Yep.
Don't let people walk all over you. Like, it's set boundaries for yourself and you have to teach people how to respect those boundaries. However, there's a flip side. Don't set too many boundaries because then you're kind of left alone, or it's
If you set too many boundaries, you end up building a wall around yourself.
yeah, exactly.
There's like everything else in life. This is now going philosophical. Like there's a middle ground. Enjoy the gray, like you said earlier, right? Like enjoy the gray area. So set boundaries, but not just enough to protect yourself. But I don't know how to say that. Like what?
Yeah,
Not to close yourself off.
yeah,
Protect, but not close yourself off.
yeah. And it's a learning process.
Like you were saying about respecting boundaries, like respect your own boundaries. Because if you don't respect your own boundaries and I've learned as a people pleaser, like if you don't hold true and strong in your own boundaries, and respect your own boundaries, how do you expect other people to respect it for you?
Yeah,
So like if someone's kind of toeing your boundary and you cave and you're like, okay, but just this once, like now the next time that person comes into conflict with your original boundary, they're just gonna walk past it and they're gonna go to this new boundary that you've set that is actually past your first boundary.
yeah,
And they're gonna keep trying to break it in until the walls cave in on you. And we don't want that. So if you want people to respect your boundaries, you need to respect your own boundaries first.
definitely.
Yeah.
I think what my mom always teaches me, tells me, is she says, you teach others how to treat you.
Yeah.
So
I've heard that. That's so true.
Yeah, so you need to really look out for yourself, because if you, like you said, keep going back on whatever boundaries you set or how you want people to treat you, you're teaching them how to treat you.
Yeah.
So
It's never too late though to reteach. One thing that's hard is like, if you're trying to suddenly you realize that for whatever reason, like you need this boundary. Now you set it up. People are used to whatever, however they treated you previously, whatever however you previously taught them how to teach you. So if someone's not respecting your boundary, it's because they previously benefited from you not having any.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. Mm-hmm. So that's just a little nugget.
What was your last piece of advice?
My last piece of advice, I don't know why I decided to end on this, is to trust your gut. And just, yeah, I don't really have much elaboration on that besides short and sweet. I've been noticing lately that I've been having a lot of intuitions for things, and that's like in a witchy way, but also like in general life. We don't need to get into that. I've been having brain. It's very late right now. Like Kristen's going into delusions, but I think intuitively, you know. And if you even have like a split second thought of like, oh, what if, like, it's because your gut knows something. Like you're contemplating options because you know something. I don't know a better way to simplify that.
Trust your gut.
TLDR.
Yeah. You know when something feels off. A lot of the times, like, oh my gosh, guys, if you listen to My Favorite Murder,
okay,
a lot of the times the victims that we hear about get into very sticky situations because they want to be polite.
Yeah.
Even though they know there's something off. There's something off about this person, but I want to be polite.
Yeah.
They say, fuck politeness.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that. Like,
that's how you get murdered.
Exactly. They say, stay sexy and don't get murdered. And I live by that.
Yeah.
My last piece of advice.
This is my favorite.
And this is for all the girlies and boys that are on some sort of medication.
She, he, then, theys.
Yes, everyone around the world who share in having mental illnesses. Don't be ashamed of it. If you need medication, take medication. It's not something you should be ashamed of. And when you feel like you're having a good day or a good week and you say, I don't need those medications, don't go off your medications. And I'm looking at you.
Don't go off them alone, too.
Yes.
Is what you told me earlier.
Don't go off the medication alone. One, have a lot of side effects from going off of them, especially if you're taking a certain dosage and you go from like 40 to nothing.
Yeah, hot to cold.
It's going to be rough. You're going to have side effects. It's not going to feel good. And I know from experience that a lot of times you'll be feeling good for a few weeks and say, I don't need them. I'm doing great.
Yeah.
It's because of the medication. Okay?
I'm doing great. I don't need the medication that's making me feel great.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. Good job for feeling wonderful. It's because of the medication. Don't go off of it. You'll need it. And
or tell a buddy. Talk to your doctor.
Talk to your doctor.
Let's make a plan for this.
We're not wild and we want to keep our health in mind.
But
oh my god. That was good. Okay.
You're welcome for that catch.
I am. Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Stay on that medication, y'all.
Drugs and hugs. Just kidding. Taking that out. That was not the advice.
I was like, I don't know how to go from there.
Retract.
Yes. Yeah, that was my last piece of advice.
That was a lot. That was a journey.
It was a lot.
That was many journeys.
Yeah. I don't think it was 25.
I think we gave you like, if not $1, at least 50 cents.
Yeah. I hope you guys resonated with some of these topics, these pieces of advice.
Yeah.
If you are in your mid-20s and you have pieces of advice that you've learned over the years, let us know. Drop them in the comments.
Yeah. Let's just make a huge list of advice.
Yeah. I would like to know, and I bet a lot of other people would benefit.
I would appreciate any tips and tricks at this point.
Yeah. We're all still growing as people. It never stops. We all need advice from time to time. Even when even when we don't think we need it.
Yeah.
We might need it.
I think of it as I'm only a quarter baked. You know? She not ready yet. She not ready yet. So, like Claire said, it's a learning process. But hopefully, if you're not in your mid-20s, which also question if you should be listening to this, but bottom line, regardless of age, I hope we said something and that you're able to take away, whether it's just humor or actual something helpful from here.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for listening to this week's very special 25-cent quarter life crisis episode.
Whoop, whoop.
Our socials would be listed somewhere on the screen if you are watching on YouTube. If you are listening to us on any of the podcasting platforms, we will have all of our contact info down in the description, as well as our promo link for the Newsly app, which you can get 1 month of free premium subscription if you use it. We are also there, and so are many, many other podcasts. So don't forget to check that out.
Don't forget to leave us a rating.
Yes.
And a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It really helps us get discovered. So
yeah. Thank you again so much for your support up until this point and moving forward. We love y'all.
Yes.
And with that, good night.
Bye.
Bye.